You ever sit there knowing exactly what you need to do and you still don't do it? Like you've got one tab open, you've got the plan, you even care about the outcome, but for some reason you just don't move. You freeze. It's not because you're lazy or broken or some unmotivated loser. It's because your brain sees imperfection as danger. So it shuts down, and instead of you starting, you scroll, you overthink, you bail. That loop, perfectionism, procrastination, paralysis, it's not a mindset flaw. It's a nervous system response, a survival reflex, and it's wired into way more guys than you would think. But once you understand what's exactly going on in your brain, you'll finally know how to break it. You've probably told yourself this story 1,000 times. I just need to focus. I just need more discipline. I just need to stop being lazy. But here's what's actually happening. Your brain has learned that starting, especially starting something that matters, feels very risky. Because if you don't do it perfectly, you feel like it reflects something about you, your worth, your identity. So the moment you even think about your task, your nervous system lights up like there's a threat. Your amygdala, that part of your brain that's wired to detect danger, starts firing off stress signals. And when that happens, the part of your brain that plans, organize, and actually gets shit done, your prefrontal cortex, that just goes offline. You're not just avoiding the task, you're avoiding the feeling you've linked to that task. And your brain is trying to protect you by saying, let's just check your phone real quick, or get a snack, or scroll TikTok until it feels safe. That tiny hit of dopamine you get from avoiding, it actually rewards the behavior. Your brain learns avoiding feels better than facing it. So the next time that loop kicks in even faster. This is how perfectionism becomes procrastination, and how procrastination over time turns into paralysis. So, no, you're not lazy. You're caught in a loop your brain thinks is helping you survive. But survival mode isn't where progress happens. And if you want to move forward, you've got to understand how this loop really works so you can actually interrupt it. And that starts with the deeper reason why you, in particular, might be stuck into the cycle. This loop hits everyone, but for a lot of young men, it hits harder. And it's not because you're weak, it's because of the pressure you carry that no one really talks about. Most of us grew up getting the same message: be strong, be capable, be successful, don't mess up, don't fall behind, don't feel too much, just get this done. So you learn early on that your value comes from your results. It means something about you. That making a mistake isn't just a mistake, it's a hit to your worth. And when you carry that belief, every task starts to feel like a test of who you are. Every assignment, every project, every DM you don't send, everything you avoid, it's not a task anymore. It's a threat to your identity. No wonder your brain shuts down. You're not just trying to get things done, you're trying to not be exposed, not be judged, not be seen failing. And the way we are wired, that fear runs deep. Biologically, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that regulates emotions and helps you choose long term rewards, isn't fully developed until around age 25. But your stress system, that's fully online. So when you feel the pressure to be perfect, your brain goes straight into survival mode. You check out, you numb, you scroll. You hate yourself for doing it, but it feels safer than risking failure. And over time, the loop gets brutal because now you're not just procrastinating, you're carrying shame on top of it. You're watching everyone else move ahead while you feel stuck in a place. You're not feeling behind because you're incapable. You're frozen because your nervous system was never taught how to feel safe with imperfection. This loop isn't your fault, but breaking it, that part is yours. This is what helped me break the cycle in my own life. And right now, I'm building a course that walks you through how to rewire this loop from the inside out. Not with hype or generic advice, but with real neuroscience and lived experience. If you've ever felt hijacked by your own reactions, like your body shuts down before you even get a chance to try, check out the first link in the description. You'll get early access as soon as it's ready. Alright, let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain and why it can be rewired. Here's the thing most people don't realize: your brain isn't broken, it's just been hijacked by fear. That freeze you feel when you try to start, that's not some fixed flaw in who you are. It's your nervous system trying to protect you from the emotional risk of not doing it perfectly. But here's the good news: your brain is built to change. Neuroplasticity means The circuit that got wired around fear can be rewired through action, safety, and repetition. Every time you show up, even just a little, you teach your brain this isn't dangerous and I can handle this. The loop isn't just mental, it's physical. It lives in how your body reacts to pressure, how your breath changes, how your stomach tenses. But the more you practice showing up without demanding perfection, the more your brain learns this doesn't have to be a threat. And something strange starts to happen. Tasks stop feeling so heavy. The fog clears faster. You start trusting yourself again. Not because you became more disciplined, but because your brain stopped bracing for impact. You don't need to flip a switch. You need to build a pattern, one small rep at a time. And it starts with learning how to just begin without all the pressure to get it right. Let's talk about the first tool that makes that possible. I remember this one night I was just sitting at my desk. It was past midnight. I had this assignment due and I had been staring at a blank screen for hours. I wasn't even tired, I was just stuck. And the worst part, I kept telling myself I was going to start right after checking one more app or watching one more video, one more plan. But I never started. Not because I didn't care, I just couldn't face the idea of doing it badly. Because in my head, if I couldn't do it perfectly, it wasn't worth even trying. That was one of the first times I used this principle, and I swear it changed everything for me. The 5 minute rule. It's super simple. You don't have to finish, you don't have to do it well. You just commit to doing 5 minutes. That's it. Because 5 minutes feels safe. It doesn't wake up the perfectionism alarm in your brain, but it does switch on your prefrontal cortex, the part that gets you moving. And once you begin, most of the time your brain wants to keep going. You just needed a way in. That's it. This rule helped me on days I thought I had nothing left. And you've ever sat in the same stuck, shame filled space, it might help you too. Don't start with the attitude to finishing it. Just start with 5 minutes. That's it. Tool number two, perfect versus done. One of the biggest reason we freeze is because we treat every task like it has to be flawless. The email, the homework, the gym plan. It's like your brain says, if I can't do this perfectly, I'm not doing it at all. But the truth is, not everything in your life needs to be perfect. And trying to make it that way, that's what's burning you out before you even begin. Here's what helped me. Whenever I feel the pressure rising, I pause and ask, does this actually need to be perfect or does this just need to be done? That question clears the fog. Because honestly, 95% of what we stress about just needs to be finished. Only a small handful amount of things, maybe 5%, are actually worth obsessing over. This is the perfect versus done matrix. You separate what needs excellence from what just needs progress. You stop wasting emotional energy on things that don't deserve it. And the moment you take perfection off the table, you give yourself permission to start. You shift from how do I make this amazing to how do I move forward today. It sounds simple, but for me, this one question changed how I approach everything. Tool number three, dopamine priming rituals. You know that feeling when you're just opening your laptop makes your chest tighten, or how even thinking about starting the task makes your body want to just check out. That's your nervous system bracing for discomfort. It's already expecting the task to suck. So your brain goes like, why not just check your phone first? That just feels better at this moment. But here's what changed that for me. I stopped trying to force motivation and started priming it. Dopamine priming is a simple solution. You create a tiny ritual, something you enjoy, that you link to starting your work, something very low effort, repeatable, and kind of yours. For me, it was making a cup of coffee, playing the same lo fi track, and opening a blank page. That's it. Do it enough times, and your brain starts associating that ritual with task initiation. And here's the trick, it gives you a small dopamine hit before you even start. That boost replaces dread with something softer, familiarity, even safety. This isn't about productivity hacks, it's about making your brain feel good about showing up. And once you have that anchor, the resistance starts to fade. Not because you grinded through it, but because your nervous system stopped seeing the task as a punishment. There's a specific kind of pain that no one really talks about. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's just always been there. The slow burn of knowing you are capable, but still not doing the thing. Of watching your friends move ahead while you're stuck in the same loop, of staring at the tab open for hours and feeling like your body just won't listen. And the longer it goes on, the heavier it gets. Because now it's not just the task you're avoiding, it's the shame, the disappointment, and what the hell is wrong with me? I know that feeling where it's 3 a.m. and you've done everything except the thing that mattered, where you can't even explain why you didn't start, where the guilt hits before the day is even over. And what makes it worse, no one sees this version of you. To everyone else, you just look distracted. But inside, you're carrying the weight of all the things you know you could be doing, but somehow aren't. That kind of stuck isn't just frustrating, it's heartbreaking because it makes you start believing you're the problem. But you aren't. You're just someone who hasn't been taught how to feel safe with imperfection yet. And that is where everything begins to shift. Let's be real. You already know how to beat yourself up. You've done that for years. You've dragged yourself through the guilt. You've stayed up hating yourself for not doing enough and then woke up next day and repeated the same cycle. So ask yourself, has it helped? Has the shame made you move? Or the voice in your head calling you useless actually made you better? Or it has just worn you down? Because here's what your brain's really doing, it's stuck in survival mode. Your nervous system has been hijacked by perfectionism and fear. And the more you shame yourself, the deeper it digs in. You're not lazy, you're overstimulated, undersupported, and running on a system that thinks failure is equal to danger. And the only way out of that loop, you stop feeding it. You stop rehearsing the same self hurt and start building something else: respect, boundaries, forgiveness. Not because what you did was fine, but because carrying it like a punishment isn't making you grow. Self forgiveness isn't some fluffy concept, it's you reclaiming your bandwidth, your clarity, your fucking energy. It's you finally saying, I'm not wasting any more time being at war with myself. You don't need to fix everything today, but you need to stop bleeding out through the same shame. Forgive yourself, not because it's easy, but because it's required if you want to move ahead. Now, you've spent enough time stuck in your own head, beating yourself up, calling it discipline, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. At some point, you've got to ask yourself, am I gonna keep living like this, stuck in loops that drains me? Or am I ready to move even if it's messy? Because this doesn't change by accident, and nobody is coming to do it for you. But that's the good news. It means it's yours now. And if you want help building the version of you who doesn't freeze anymore, I'm building something for that. This course isn't motivational fluff. It's a practical system to rewire the emotional loops that keep you stuck. Built from neuroscience, built from experience. The exact stuff that I wish I had when I felt like I was falling behind in life. The link's in the description. You will get early access the second it's ready. But even if you don't click anything, don't scroll past this and forget it happened. You know too much now. So pick one tool, give yourself 5 minutes, and just begin.